How are you doing? How are you doing, my friends? Hope you're doing okay. It's Friday night. I'm alone in this house, my friends, and just figured it'd be kind of cool just to go on and see what's going on. It's later than normal, so I don't really expect my usual friends to show up because it's already almost 10 o'clock in my time. And you guys are on the East Coast, so I'm just hanging out, friends. Just hanging out. Hey, Froggo, how you doing, my friend? How you doing? Hey, we're just hanging out, my friends. We're just hanging out. We're talking. And I got my keyboard, my friends. Hey, Copper! Look, my friends, I got the keyboard. So yeah, we're just gonna hang out. I got my fake margarita. And I'm alone in this empty house. How are you guys all doing? Hope you're doing good, my friends. Hey, Matt, how you doing? How are you doing? Oh, hold on. Let me try to stay in frame. Oh, yeah, look. My piano's in Albuquerque. So look, I have my Yamaha. This is the Yamaha PSR 630. I got this thing for like 30 bucks. When this came out in 1995, this was a couple of $1,000s. It sounds gorgeous. It sounds gorgeous. Watch, check this out. Check this out. Hold on. This thing is so fun. So fun. Does that sound okay? Man, doesn't that sound awesome? That thing sounds gorgeous. This sounds gorgeous. Well, my friends, the reason why I'm not playing a game as a last minute stream is because the car's broken down, my friends. I blew the valve cover. I'm lucky I didn't blow the engine. It's going to be a lot of money to fix it. So, hey, Demo, how you doing? Yep. I love this keyboard. So I did some, now the funny thing about this is this thing takes a floppy drive. So you can like pre-program your songs. This is how high tech this used to be. So I read this was used, not this particular keyboard I own, but this model is used by Coldplay in a couple of songs. It's a really professional thing. Watch how cool this sounds, watch. I'm kind of like really bummed out right now, my friends. It's going to cost $3,500 to fix the car. I'm going to be walking for at least a week. So thank God my bro's going to help me out. Oh, that's cool, my friend. So so check this out. This is really nice. So this has a lot of great sounds. So right now, we're like on the saxophone sound, okay? love this thing. I miss my real piano though. That's an Albuquerque. Hey, Naru! Hi, Angel Kitty! Oh, don't be sorry. It's okay. I didn't blow the engine, thank God. So it's not totaled. You know just how it goes, my friend. When it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. But it's okay, because I got you guys as wonderful friends. You know I have a reason to feel bad. I have a reason to feel sad. But I decided it's to my best fate. Oh, to feel glad, to feel glad, to feel glad. I'm not going to be feel sad about it, my friends. I'm not. There's no point in feeling sad. I've had so much stuff happen to me this year. Oh, I know it doesn't sound like a sax. It's a keyboard. You know, it's. You used to play a sax. That's cool. I used to play trombone. I used to play trombone in marching band in junior high school. But I had to stop because I ended up hurting my lip in football practice. Yeah, it's okay, friends. I miss you guys. So I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow unless I do it the Chuck Troll way. But I'm walking. I'll be walking home. So I don't know if I probably won't be streaming. So I'm glad you guys are here, okay? I'm glad you're here. And I'm really glad you're here, friends. So I hope you guys are doing okay. Yeah, I got bored, my friends. I'm home all alone. You know, my mom and Oso and the cats, they're in Albuquerque. I'm here in Santa Fe, you know, and I called in sick today because I had to take the train home. You saw the pictures, you know, if you're in the Discord. I saw a Roadrunner. That was pretty neat. It actually kind of scared me. It kind of jumped out of ways there. Oh God, I'm glad you fixed it. I'm glad you fixed it and didn't mess up your island. Now I do have the switches with me, so I don't have my computer, but I have the switches, okay? I have the switches with me, so I'm gonna try to like film it. I'm gonna go like the Chuck Troll version. I'm gonna be like Chuck Troll. I'm gonna try to use my phone, okay? And I'm basically like my first very early videos were. So I don't know if I'm gonna live stream or just try to put out a video. I want to thank all 5 of you people for being here, and it's totally awesome. Thank you so much, my friends. I don't know. I just got bored. I got bored. I wasn't tired, and you know, and I had to talk. And I had to stay busy so I wouldn't get depressed, you know. And it's taken all my inner strength not to be depressed, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay because I got faith. I got faith and I got good karma and I got you good friends. Got you good friends. Yeah, well, what happened? Did you have like a save error? Did it give you like a, you know, I don't know. Thankfully I haven't had that happen. Yeah, I've been playing a lot more. You know, before, you know, I used to be an everyday player. I got like 4,000 hours in Animal Crossing. And, but you know, as time went on, I started playing less and less and would only play just to get ready for the stream. But now I'm actually playing again. I played Pocket Camp today for the first time in about a month too. Hey, Sweet Shay, how you doing, my friend? How you doing? Now, this has a really good, like, the sound I like. This is the sound I like. This is one of my favorite sounds on this. Hold on. Is I like the solo strings. It's really pretty. I've been playing this a lot lately. It's way different than playing the piano. It's way different. It's, you know, I don't know. I'm getting used to it. Yeah, well, it's easy to. You got to pace it, my friends. That's why, you know, just play like a little half hour. You know, give your presents out to your animals. You know, do a little bit of chores. You know, that's how, you know, I got to get back into the Disney. I really missed the Disney game, but it was running so crappy on the Switch that it wasn't no fun to play. I see there's still 18 days left for the spooky thing. So I might try to jump in there. Oh no! Oh God, it saved her in the cutscene? That's crazy. I know that part when Lottie's sick. That's when Nico takes over. Yeah, for that one little thing. Yeah. I like the strings. So this has a single sound, and then it has like a dual sound that gives you the little extra. I gotta learn some real songs. That's more than I know myself, Prago. I play the same chords. I'm not even sure what I'm playing. I only play the white keys. I don't know the black key. Black keys are hard. See, it sounds all funky. Can't do that yet. I used to be able to play the Godfather theme like a long time ago. So, like 30 years ago, actually more like 40 years ago, I was taking piano classes at Mount Sac Junior College, and I used to know how to play the Godfather theme. But the problem I have, my friends, is I'm impatient, and I don't read directions, and I just stopped learning and just tried to play, and then I got bored and I went to something else. That's the problem I have in life, is I have a hard time focusing on things, and I gotta like really fight to keep my attention on something, and this is something that grabs my fancy, and then I'm the opposite, and I get all obsessed with it. Like Animal Crossing. Ooh, that'd be cool. I would like to see that. That'd be fun. Now this has a really cool synthesizer noise that's really neat. Sounds cool. But I'm going to learn some real songs. That's what I always tell myself. I always tell myself I'm going to learn some real songs. Okay. Yeah, I understand. I'm only going to be on for a little while, my friends. This is not going to be like the usual 2 hours. I was bored. I was bored and lonely. So once I finish my drink, and then we're done talking for like about a half hour, then I got to go to bed. I got to get up earlier than normal because I got to walk to work, and that's going to take me a half hour to walk to work. And luckily, the weather's not going to be too bad. We did have some hail the other day, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I don't have anything happen. I do have some coworkers that will probably give me a ride once I talk to them. For me, the big thing is trying to get a ride home. Yeah, I'm the same way, Prago. I'm a night owl. I only sleep like 5 to 6 hours a night. It's not good for you. You should get at least 8 hours. But usually I go to bed around midnight. But the problem I've been having, my friends, is I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning all stressed out, okay? Because of all the stuff I'm going through, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning all stressed out. And I'm doing that all the time now. Hey, Jan. Hi, good night. Yeah, I'm just here because I'm bored, my friend, but thank you for popping in and saying hi. In all honesty, I really wasn't expecting anybody to even show up. It's late, I don't know what I was going to do. I was just going to play music. But now that you guys are here, we're just going to talk. I don't know. I'm just bored. I'm so bored. It's just, I'm so used to hanging out with you, my friends, because I hang out with you folks more than I do with my friends in the real world, But But, you're my friends in the real world. Just, you know what I mean? I don't get to sleep in because I have a dog and then I got a job, I always wake up at like 5 in the morning, 5:30, even without my alarm clock, so. And I stopped drinking coffee. I've been drinking tea, and so I'll be tired, hopefully. I just got a lot on my mind, I'm trying to sell this stupid house. The car breaking down didn't help, the whole 9 yards. But it's okay, because I'll make it. I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. Not a quitter. It's just I just keep going on and keep going on, And I don't know. It's hard, my friends. It's hard. Not gonna lie, it's hard. What can you do? What can you do? Just keep on rolling with the punches. That's it. Just roll with the punches, man. I'm so looking forward to Animal Crossing. Mayor Mori and Crossing Channel has been fun to watch again. Because now they have new things to talk about. So it's really going to be cool. I know. It's hard when you get bored. And, usually if I get bored, my friends, I would jump on the computer, and then, maybe edit some videos or, usually just scrolling on YouTube. Once I get stuck in YouTube Shorts, forget it, It's just, I got to watch out. I got an X account, a Twitter account, because I was going to start promoting, my channel on Twitter, but, I go on Twitter and I just scroll. I don't put nothing up there. I end up looking at stupid stuff and I don't get nothing done. So I got to stay off Twitter. Tell me about it, my friend. See, what happens for me is I start watching movie clips, like scenes from like Nobody or The Equalizer, all these action movies. And then, I start looking at like old commercials, which are fun to look at, or like old movie trailers. And then before I know it, bam, it's like 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours, And then, so it's just, I try to watch positive stuff. Now, I've been watching a lot of self-help videos. I've been doing that for a couple of years now. It's good for you, but right now I've been watching stuff on relationships and how to navigate through breakups and stuff. And it's depressing. Yeah, I try not to get stuck in stories. I try to listen to a lot of music. I really cut down on my news consumption, though. I found out that once I started watching less news, I wasn't so anxious about the world, Now I'm just anxious about bills, which is okay, but not okay. I haven't really done the phone thing. Now I see a lot of people doing this format. So usually when I'm going through late at night, I've been seeing a lot of people using this format, but usually it's political discussions, which I don't really like to do. Since I'm a news junkie, I do I read about politics, I read about finance. Financial news is my favorite stuff to read about. I love reading about finance. It's funny that ads the algorithm sends me because of the videos I watch. If they only knew I had no money, they wouldn't send me all these advertisements, Froggo, it's late, my friend. It's late, Angel Kitty's walking her dog and, but that's okay. We're talking. Don't worry about it. It's all about us staying together. The one who has to talk the most is me. I'm the one who should be talking nonstop because then it get boring, get really boring. Hey, Popeye Fried Chicken. Yep. Okay, hey, Popeye Fried Chicken, it's okay if we talk about religion, but just don't spam the chat with a bunch of Bible verses. Actually talk to us. We're talking about life, my friend. So I'm not afraid to talk about religion and God because I'm a believer, okay? But I don't go all out and I don't go all crazy about it, okay? Because, there's a part in the Bible that, okay, so I used to be an altar boy, okay? I've been very involved in religion my whole life, okay? So yeah. So basically, I'm a religious person. I have faith, but I'm being a good example. And that's how you do it, my friends. So you come in and you be a good example. You just don't throw around Bible quotes. Anybody can do that, you know. Anybody can do that. So now, and now you're going to get me talking about religion now. That's okay. Tell me about it, Angel Kitty. And not by choice either. It was just shoved down our throats. You know, you can't get away from it now. They made politics into a sport. You're about to pass out, my friend? Well, if you're tired, you should go to bed. You should relax. It's okay. You know, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad all of you guys are here. And Popeye Fried Chicken, I hope you're doing good. And God bless you, my friend. But you'll get a lot more, you'll be able to harvest more for the Lord if you engage more than just throwing out the Psalms. You know, you got to show people that you're not a bot, that you're a real person. Tell me about it, my friend. It's not been an easy year for everybody. I cannot wait for 2026, which is very ironic because, you know, I thought 2025 was going to be a good year. Little did I know. Little did I know. But it's actually working out to be a good year. Yeah. I'm the same way, my friend. Once I'm getting done talking with you guys, I'm just going to lay and toss around. Now, the bad thing about it is I don't have any extra blankets, okay? So when I took my computer to Albuquerque, I wrapped it all up in my blankets, and I usually bring my blankets back, okay? Now, I have a bedspread, but it's not very thick. I'll just have to sleep with the heater on tonight, and I'll buy an extra blanket tomorrow. You know, there's just no way I could have took it on the train. It took me 2 hours to get home on the train. And then I was walking, and fortunately a coworker saw me from the other side, did a U-turn, and took me home. Thank God. That saved me like 45-minute walk. Yeah. But you know what? If we all stick it out together, we can make it through this, you know. Now, the thing about it is, my friends, is, you know, the only control that we have is our reactions, how we can control our reaction, you know, how we react to stuff, how we let things affect us is the only true control we have. So you just got to keep a level head, you know. It's just hard with all the finances and everything. See, my problems right now are all financial. I'm at the stage now where I'm over the sad part of the breakup, and now it's the financial part. Yeah. Well, the way I see it, Angel Kitty, is like, okay, so the Indians say the Great Spirit. People say karma. It's like an energy, okay? So basically, the way I see it, it's like a jellyfish. A jellyfish is a bunch of little microorganisms making a big one. And that's kind of how like we are. We're all interconnected, okay? And so now for me, you know, like my belief in God is like a way of energizing me and giving me faith in like the universe, okay? Now, it's not really for me like an entity in space, like guiding us. It's more like a life force that we all share, okay? That's easy, Frago. I do the same thing. I rarely finish games. Usually for me, I get stuck. I get stuck on a hard boss, and then I have to move on. Now, the only games I've actually finished are like the Elder Scroll games. I finished all those, okay? I finished the Diablo, and I finished those games. And then Animal Crossing, you never finish. And then, so that's why I like the cozy games. I played Wolfenstein, but I never finished the final boss because it was too hard. I used to play a lot of shooting and action games. It's just been the last 5 years I've been playing cozy games. I love it. But I move on. I have 128 games on my Steam account, okay? Because I like to buy games. I don't play games. I buy games. I'm a game hoarder. Steam makes it so easy. I started playing Roller Coaster Tycoon the other day, though. But yeah, for me, I just believe like it's a life force, that we're all connected and that we're all part of the same life force, and that basically, you know, you don't have to believe in God to be able to be a good person and do the right thing. because that's, we're wired in that, you know. Some people, you know, they say they believe in God and they're horrible people. So just because you act like a Christian doesn't mean you are. You got to walk the walk. The people that scream it the loudest, I don't trust. You know, I don't talk about my religion a lot. I just do good things. And then I don't blow my horn about it, you know. I try not to. If I give stuff to people, like food and stuff, you know, I don't make a thing about it. I try to be quiet. You know, if I make donations, I don't take the tax write-off. I just donate. It sure is. And that's what makes it interesting. Because, you know, and if that's the thing, that's why people are important. Because we can get through this mysterious place. You know, I kind of view life like a D&D game. You know, basically, all the examples, everything you go through life is getting you ready for the final boss battle. You know, that's just how it is, you know, and it's just, I do a lot of thinking now. I think a lot about the past. You know, I noticed since I turned 62 that I really got the nostalgia going hard. And then now at Walmart, it's all about the 90s now. It's all about the 90s. It's all 90s music. I noticed this year in the Christmas decorations, there was a lot of pop merchandise, okay? A lot of 1990s stuff. 1990s cartoons, 1990s food products, because that's the generation now that the nostalgia weapon is being used against to suck your money out of you. Nostalgia is a great way to get money out of people. I know, because that's how they do it to me. But yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. And, you know, the thing about it is so in the 1990s, I was in my 20s, okay? And so that was a lot of the time when I was in a band, you know, me and Linda were really young. Our daughter was a baby. Used to go to clubs and go dancing. I used to have hair down to here. And then when I was in a band, I used to wear leather pants and no shirt. You know, I've always been in good shape, you know. It helps to be a skinny guy that works hard. But yeah, and the 90s is just a whole weird thing, my friends. You know, it's hard to believe the 90s were like 30 years ago. Yeah, I like the 90s. You know, the funny part about it is I didn't like the 90s when I was living through them, okay? I didn't. But now as I look back, 90s movies, 90s music was pretty cool. Yeah, for like romance and comedy and stuff, you know. For horror movies, 70s and 80s. Well, yes, I did find a new house, Fiche. I have a mobile home in Albuquerque, okay? I just have to sell this one now. So right now, you know, I'm just paying for two places. And so it's kind of hard. I burned through my retirement money, my friends. I spent $10,000 in the last couple of months, paying back money I owed to my family members. I owed my sis money, and then I've been using it to live. I burned through all my cash, my friends. You know, this divorce has been very hard on me, okay? The first stage, it was hard on me emotionally. It was very devastating. And then now it's hard on me financially. It's very devastating. But, you know, we weren't good for each other. You know, it's the thing about it is Linda and myself, we got together when we were kids. You know, I was 14, she was 15. We were kids. We were kids when we got together. And what happened is, you know, we grew apart. You know, we broke up and got together a bunch of times in our life, you know. And that's what makes me the saddest about it is how much time we spent together, you know, off and on. That's what makes me sad about us getting divorced. Is just all the history, all that time, you know, half my life. Yep. Good memories. Good memories. Some good, really good music. You know, some good movies. The 2000s when it started getting crazy. You know, that's when I had my heart attack. That's when my brother took off and abandoned his kids. That's when I raised them for a while. You know, that's just, the 2000s were hard. You know, the 80s I was in school, so that was fun times. Oh yeah, Froggo, I actually died. I actually died, my friend. That's why I'm always so happy, Froggo. Okay, so when I was 41 years old, I was taking care of my niece and nephew because my brother abandoned them, okay? And so I was really sick. I wasn't feeling good. And so I had my niece go call my brother. My brother took me to the hospital. My heart was going 141 times a minute, and I flatlined and I died. I died. I flatlined. They gave me the shot in the chest and they did the paddles, okay? I was unconscious for 5 days and off work for 6 months, and I saw them working on me. I saw them working on me. Yep. Oh, I remember Tamagotchis. I used to have to keep my daughter's Tamagotchi alive. Yeah, I used to take care of it for her all the time. And then, yeah. Oh, speaking of game, hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. When you said Game Boy, this made me think of this. So I've been unpacking a lot of stuff. I gotta charge it. So my friends, my Nintendo Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I bought this brand new. I used to play the heck out of this thing. Yep. And then I have, so I got the power cord for it, so I can charge it up. And then I have a couple of games. I gotta get some more. So I have, let's see, I got Frogger, I got A Bug's Life, and then I have Pinball of the Dead. I got a Dragon Ball Z game somewhere in another box. But this cool thing I have is and then I have Street Fighter. Now, this is I bet. Don't worry about it, Copper. Hopefully it's okay. So what I was doing, Copper, I was showing people my Game Boy Advance. Now, what I have for the Game Boy Advance is I got this little funky thing here. Now this, the little label fell off, okay? Now this, I bought online, and this was like from China, okay? And this thing right here holds a 256 MB card. Look how funky this card is. This is how the cards used to be, my friend, before they got all small. Now, what this thing allowed you to do was to download videos from your computer, put them on the chip, and then you would put this thing in your Game Boy, and then you'd be able to watch videos. Hold on. I wonder if it works. Okay, let's plug this bad boy in. I haven't played this thing in a long time. Okay, hold on. Let me get the plug a little closer. Okay, just turn this guy on. I might have to take this thing off here. Hold on. Oh, you know what it is? It's charging. It's not going to play if it's charging. Hold on. I don't think I'll have enough juice. No. Okay, there it goes. Okay, hold on. Yeah, look, it still turns on. Nice. Okay. All right, come on, Game Boy Advance. I wonder if this is keeping it from working. Oh, hold on. I wonder if that little thing doesn't work anymore. Okay, let's see. Hold on. It might not have enough charge. Okay, let's see. Nintendo Game Boy. You're going to start up. Licensed by Nintendo. There it goes. I used to love this Pinball of the Dead game. This is Street Fighter Alpha. Single mode. Okay, we're going to charge this up. We'll turn this guy off. Yeah, I was happy to find that. Now, I got to see if I can get this thing working again, because I actually got some like 90s cartoons on here. But I don't know if this is going to work anymore. It might not. Don't worry about it, Froggo. It's okay, my friend. Don't sweat it, bro. It's all right. Ooh, yeah, I bet. Oh, I bet you those games are worth some money. Now, I've gone to the game stores and tried to find some games for these, but they sure want a lot, you know. I'm looking for like some pinball games. I got a Dragon Ball Z game, you know. When I used to play this at work all the time, so it's charging up. Now, I found the cord in a different box. I was very happy to find the cord, because before I had the player and I had the games, but I didn't have the cord. And I found the cord in a different box. Thank God, that's why I brought it home. I should say I brought it from home. Now, I wish I would have kept my, now I have a Nintendo GameCube, and then I have, I wish I would have kept my original Nintendo though. I wish I would have kept that. You know, we used to have Duck Hunt. I wish I would have had that. I wish I still had my Sega Dreamcast. That's the game, that's the machine I regret getting rid of, is the Dreamcast. I wish I would have kept that. And then I found my software for my old Amiga computer, so I'm going to see if I can get that running for laughs and giggles. I got all this stuff, my friends. Just I was unpacking stuff last night. Oh, no, you're on the other side? No, my friend, you must move around a lot at night. No, I'm a side sleeper. I don't move around a lot. So I'm very still, and I got that habit of, you know, with having my dog. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I don't move around a lot. I sleep on the edge of the bed. My little dog takes up more room than me. And then, yeah, but I'm glad we're hanging out, friends. Hey, it's been almost 40 minutes already. So, about another 10, 15 minutes and then we'll hit the road. Like about an hour. And then I gotta try to go to bed. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys being here, my friends. I really do. Thank you so much, you know. I'll probably be doing this more often because I don't have my equipment here. I don't have my computer with me here at all, my friends. My computer is not here at all. Here, we're going to sit on the stairs, okay? Just go move and just sit on the stairs. Yeah, my little dog likes to sleep behind my legs, like behind my knees. Hold on, it's gonna be dramatic. Ooh, I look all scary. Look at ooh. Hold on, we're moving different rooms here. There you go. As you can see, my computer is all gone, my friends. All gone. Yeah. Oh, all my stuff's in Albuquerque, sweet Shay. So here's the deal, okay? So I've been moving my belongings into my new home, for the last couple of months. And so usually what it is, and now my mom, and so we all go over there and we stay, okay? So I'm almost ready to complete the move and move from here to Albuquerque. So my mom went first, okay? And I'm staying here. And what I've been doing is I've been driving to Albuquerque on my days off, okay? So Oso was there for the first time without me over there, because my plan was to basically work out the rest of the year or the rest of the month and then transfer like in December, okay? But now that the car broke down, I got to see if I can transfer like ASAP, okay? Because I don't have a car right now until I can get it repaired. Oh, God. Yes. I love Weird Al. Yeah, so I'm going to be moving into a retirement home, sweet Shay, 55 plus park. Okay, I had a relative lend me some money to buy the mobile home. So once I sell this house, then I'm going to pay everybody back. So once I sell this house and pay back all the money I owe, I'm going to have like nothing. I'm not going to have any money left over, but it's okay because I have my forever home and I pay back the people. Actually, I will be paying back to people that helped me out through this tough time. Yeah, so pretty soon I'll be streaming from a bigger studio room. I'll give you guys a tour on a video. Yeah, I like Weird Al. I remember hearing him on Dr. Demento when he first came out. Yes, I will still do YouTube, my friend. I'm not quitting YouTube. That's why I'm on right now. Oh, no, that's part of my life now, my friends. I'm not going to quit streaming. I'll quit streaming when they put me in the ground. That's when I'll stop, my friends. I'm going to be streaming until my last gasp. Because you know why? Because I love it. I love it. I love being on YouTube. It's, if you think about it, I've been on YouTube pretty consistently the last 3 years. It's only been this last little bit that I missed. I got like 1,600 videos now, my friend. I've been up there. I got a lot of videos, okay? I have like 100 Pocket Camp videos. I got over 1,000 Animal Crossing videos. Most of my videos are Animal Crossing. And then it was that time during hard mode when I was doing a video every day. I did a video every day for like 3 months. And then when I started doing Rags to Riches, the same thing. Oh, no. When we do the Josie and the Pussycat movie, the Jose and the Kitty Cats, I'm going to have a different horror host. So instead of being a zombie, I'm going to be like a Bob Ross kind of looking hippie kind of guy. I'm going to have a different horror host. Yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah. No, so for the Jose and the Kitty Cats, I'll be a different host. In fact, me and my friend Jesse are talking about it. Yeah, that's going to be probably at the beginning of the year in January when we start that project. And I already know how I'm going to edit it. I've been thinking about it. It's just me and my friend are trying to do more planning on the horror host section, or like the movie host. I love Bob Ross too. I grew up watching Bob Ross, and being an artist, Bob Ross was very important to me. Now, I remember I had a lot of friends who used to make fun of Bob Ross because of the art style he had. I had a lot of art, because I hung out with poetry. I used to do poetry readings, art gallery stuff. I used to know a lot of pretentious people. I was always down to earth. I was the most down to earth of the group. I was also the loudest and the one that would speak my mind the most, too. Yeah. No surprise there, huh? But yeah. But I used to defend Bob Ross. I used to defend Thomas Kincaid. In fact, my friends used to call me an art, hooker. Not they would think of the not nice word that starts with a W. That's what my friend used to call me because I would paint anything for money. I used to draw anything, my friend. I would draw anything for money. Well, not anything. I had standards. I wouldn't draw like sexual deviant stuff, but I would draw any subject for money. Well, thank you, Sweet Shay. Thank you, my friend. Oh, watch out, Prago. Dang it. Yeah, I'm sorry. You got to watch out with Nightbot, my friends. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like watching my streams. Because I try to be like, the thing about it is, my friends, I'm like an open book, okay? You can tell when I'm having a good day and a bad day. And so when you guys see me, you get the real me, okay? So when I'm all goofy and acting all crazy, that's me for reals, okay? So I don't pretend to be what I'm not. And the reason why I don't pretend to be a character and try to be a persona is because after a while, you learn that you hate it. You end up hating what you pretend what you're not to be. If you're trying to be something that you're not, it's gonna harm you. So that's why if I'm having a bad day, I'll just have a bad day and you guys will know it. I won't torture you with it, but what emoji is that? Oh, is that the copy one or I can't? I'm on the thing. It's all yeah. All my copy emojis. I don't know, dude. I just thought they were fun. I don't know what emoji language is. I can't help but be high energy, Copper. This is how I am 24/7. When I'm not on stream, I'm still high strung the way I am. This is how I am all the time. I used to be worse before my heart attack. This is me mellowed out. Yeah. Tell me about it. I think it's like a copy thing blowing on a cup or something. I can't read. On the computer, you can see it bigger. I think I'm going to drink my other fake margarita. Because I'm thirsty, but I don't really have any drinks. I got to go shopping. So I drank all my ginger teas already. And then, I drank all my hot chocolate already. I drank all my apple cider already. And the only thing I have hot is coffee, but I don't want to drink any coffee right now. But these fake margaritas taste pretty good. It's just crazy how they still cost the same as regular margaritas, Because every once in a while, I'll buy the 6-pack of fake beer. Just once in a blue moon, I haven't drank real alcohol in ages. I had a toast at a wedding, maybe about 7 or 8 years ago. I had like a half a glass of champagne, and that's probably about the last liquor I had. I think I might have had a cup of eggnog a couple of Christmases ago, but nothing really I can get drunk off of, Well, that's kind of cool. It looks like I have a halo. But yeah, friends, I'm glad you guys are hanging out. I'm glad you don't mind, because we can be hanging out together. But yeah, Copper, I'm very high. I'm very high energy. I've always been that way. My job loves it because I get so much stuff done. As long as I can focus. I keep myself focused. It's really hard for me it's easy for me to get sidetracked, as you guys can tell. Yeah, well, for me, Angel Kitty, I have to have the caffeine because of my blood pressure problems, okay? Because, see, my blood pressure is like 95/63 or something like that. My blood pressure is super low. You wouldn't tell by how I jump around like a knucklehead, but I got low blood pressure. And so anytime I eat a meal, that's why I have to have caffeine, because if I don't, I will pass out. I've done that before at parties, at a dinner party, and it freaks people out, okay? Usually when I pass out, it's always after I've eaten. Because see, what the problem is so when you eat, your blood pressure drops because your body is processing and digesting the food. So since my blood pressure is dangerously low already, I got to be careful when I eat. So I make sure I eat a lot of small meals. I don't eat big meals anymore. I just eat a lot of small meals. Yeah, I love eggnog. I don't drink it with the rum. I don't drink it with the rum anymore. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I don't miss it. I used to drink a lot. Now, I used to be like a happy drunk. I wasn't a mean drunk. I used to be a blackout drunk. So I would be functional. I can walk around. And so basically, I used to sing and stuff a lot. Oh, I remember you were talking about that. I remember you mentioned that before, Angel. Angel, yeah. That's not good. That's a lot. That's how fast my heart was going and when it stopped was 141 beats a minute. My mom and my brother were there. I don't remember it. They had to tell me. The last thing I remember about having my heart attack was my brother driving me. My brother driving me. And I remember they had to give me like all these shots because I was dying. I was dying. And they were giving me all these shots because my brother took me to the Kaiser Clinic. And because I lived in Adelanto. It was like a little small city. I always live in small places. And so my brother had to drive me to a bigger city, down the highway because I lived in the Inland Empire back then. So it was out in the boons. And then, so by the time he got to the hospital, I don't remember. Now, the last thing I remember is I remember being in the waiting room, and they gave me some shots, and I remember this guy coming at me, and I remember he was dressed in blue, and he had like a cross on his hat, and then he wanted to pray. He was one of those guys that hang out and just like pray in public, and he wanted to pray and pray with me. And then my brother was like rushed at him to get him away from me. And I remember saying like, hey, instead of like wanting you to pray with you, why don't you pray with me? Why don't you pray for me? Because I'm really messed up. And then that's the last thing I remember before they took me into the room. And then I died. Yeah. What was your favorite show? What was the last season? Yeah. I'm not afraid of dying anymore, though. I'm not like inviting it. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of death anymore. I'm not scared. Even though it was a traumatic thing, with the crash cart and everything, it felt very peaceful. That's not the first time I almost died. I've almost died twice. Oh, okay, Jurassic World. I'm looking forward to Fallout, the second season of Fallout. That's what I'm waiting for, my friends, on Amazon Prime, And I've been watching South Park a little bit. I don't watch a lot of TV. I noticed when you start making content for YouTube, you spend all your time making content for YouTube, I love dinosaurs too. They're awesome. Me too, Angel. It was meant to be, my friend. I wasn't meant to die. I was meant to be a positive battery. That's why I'm always so happy. I used to be like a very serious man. I still joked around and stuff, but I'm very happy. I'm loving the Dinkum. You guys having fun playing Dinkum? My friends are just like hooked on it. The ones I got hooked on Animal Crossing are just hooked on Dinkum now. They play it constantly. No, I really believe that's why I didn't die. I believe that I was meant to go on YouTube and to be like a positive force. To add some positivity to the world, okay? There's so much negative, okay? And that's what I do. Oh, you're doing a daily video? Oh, cool. My friend, I'll start watching those when I get time. It's just been so hard. That's one thing I really feel bad about is I used to be so active and show up on people's streams and hang out and chat. And this last year, I haven't been doing that at all. Yeah. Oh, that's how it is, my friend. If you're not into it, you shouldn't force yourself to play. You'll like Dinkum, Angel Kitty. You'll like it. You'll like Dinkum. I was telling my friend today how pretty much all the games I play are kind of like Animal Crossing. I'm really into that Animal Crossing cozy vibe right now. Yeah, I'll probably play Dinkum after I get done talking to you guys. I gotta show progress on my streams. Now they told me that eventually I'll get a key to give away. I know they've been really pushing the PC stuff, but I'm really. I told them in the Dinkum Lounge, in the partner lounge, that since I'm mostly playing Nintendo games on the Switch, that I'm going to be pushing Dinkum on the Switch more than the computer game. So if you notice that most of my Dinkum content now is the Switch. Yeah, that's cool, Copper. I'm really glad to see you guys all doing well. I'm glad to see you doing good with your channel. I'm glad to see, Croston and Stacy doing good. Nana A, I'm glad she's still making videos. I'm so happy you guys accepted me in your community. I really am, like my friends, I never planned on doing this. This just happened. I just fell into this, okay? I never had the intention of being a YouTube streamer. It isn't like I woke up and said, yeah, I'm going to be a streamer. It just kind of happened. And because of Animal Crossing. Basically, I started doing all the dream tours. I would do the dream tours. And, and then Dan from Crossing Minute, he did my island. And then he made a video about my golf course, which I need to rebuild. And then I was watching Chuck, and I saw Chuck was just using his phone. And then I thought, I can do this. I can do this. And here I am, 3 years later. Yeah. A few people know. You know who knows, Copper? My younger co-workers know I stream. My younger co-workers know I stream because they always see me in the electronics section. Now, my co-workers my age, they don't have a clue. I'll show them a video. Yes, Dan from Crossing Minute. Yes, the guy who's really funny and makes fun of your stuff. That Dan. That amazing, talented man who makes me laugh. Yes, that Dan. That Crossing Minute. So what happened, Frago, is like 5 years ago, back when Animal Crossing was the hot tamale, and everybody was trying to get on people's streams, and then I would try to get on Dan's stream. I actually got on the Tin Talk stream as well, too. Pat from the Tin Talk, I got on his stream as well. And so what I would write was, I would write, working golf course that keeps score with the dice. And that got people's attention. And that's what happened. So now the funny part about it is I was really, because Dan would go to your island and he would roast your island. He would make fun of your island. And I was really hoping and looking forward to Dan roasting my island. He didn't roast my island. He didn't roast my island at all. He was just awed. I know, I'm happy to see Chuck coming back. I was very worried about our good friend, because I know he's been having health issues too. Yeah, well, Dan's been doing a lot of Animal Crossing again lately. He was doing like a lot of the AI Tom Nook stuff, and then also too, Dan's also involved with that vidIQ stuff. That one group that helps you become a better streamer, which totally surprised me. He was part of that. Yeah. And then of course Alexi is amazing. I'm just glad I'm friends with all these people. But yeah. But yeah, it's been a fun ride, my friends. It's been a fun ride, and I'm so glad that I fell into this, and I can never see this not being a part of my life. That's why I'm talking to you on the phone, Even though all my equipment's gone, I still had to be on YouTube. Yeah. Car H has been popping up a lot too, Copper. I've been seeing Car H pop up in the corner of my screen. Yeah. Well, I used to go to a bunch of different streamers. I used to, okay, so when I first started playing Animal Crossing, there was 2 streamers that I used to be involved with, and one was called Marshy's World, and the other one was Midna TP, okay? And so basically, one day a week, they would come to my island, okay? So Midna would bring her friends to my island, and we would do stuff, and then Marshy would bring her friends to my island, and we would do stuff. So basically, my island was content for people in the early days. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, yeah. Oh, is Alexi here? Oh, you just dropping links. Okay, I just dropped links. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's easy to. And Alexi made it into a science. Now, for me, my Animal Crossing thing was just trying to make all my wacky builds. You know, there's a couple of builds that I haven't done that the Switch one couldn't do. So I'm really hoping I can pull off a Switch 2. Okay, thank you. Why you're tired, Froggo? Because it's late. Okay, thank you. Hey, drop Poopy's link too. Yep, you're number 1 on the thing, my friend. That's the engagement. So you earn that rank by how much you chat. But yeah. But no. And you've been coming to my streams a long time, Angel Kitty. You've been coming around since hard mode. That's when you showed up, was during my hard mode times. That's when I started really taking off. I really got super popular for a little short time during hard mode. I think what it was when I was making videos every day that I was just in people's algorithm. I'll start doing that. And hey, Crispy too. Make sure you drop your link as well, okay, Angel Kitty? Drop you and Shiloh. I was really happy when I got busy enough to ask you to be one of my mods, Angel Kitty. I was really glad that I got busy enough, that you can be part of the team. Hey, Rob House, how you doing, my friend? Well, good. You're up late. I hope it's worth it. I hope I'm being entertaining for you, my friends. Yeah. Yeah. It's like 11 o'clock over here. Yeah, usually, so once I move, we're going to be doing some different stuff, okay? So once I move, I want to, I might be changing my days around, okay? Because I'm not sure. I'm going to try to keep the same days off at my new job when I go to the new Walmart. But I want to start playing Skyrim. I want to start streaming Skyrim, okay? And then I'm also going to start making more Warhammer content like I was before I hurt my shoulder. Now, right now, I got a couple of people watching my Warhammer videos in Germany and the Netherlands. Cool, my friend. Yeah, I miss Towels. I know he was going through a hard time with depression, and that hits a lot of people. I really like Towels. It's just weird. Some streamers I just click with, and then no, I've had my problems in my early days though. I had trouble with the streamer, that I guess was, that I guess I made mad. So, but that was a small little issue a long time ago. I've had my share of trolls. I used to have trolls. Now, I remember we had this one guy who was stealing my content. And that lasted for like a month, where he was like, he got in trouble with YouTube. And then also he got in trouble on Twitch. Because he was, basically I invited him on my island for an event. I didn't know he was filming it. And then when I watched his stream, he made it seem like me and him were buddies and that we made this ideas together. That was when I was having my King Tut cooking contest. Yeah. A lot of people stream Animal Crossing. You're going to see a lot more, my friend. Oh, yeah, Speed Shape. It was a guy in the UK, actually. He lived in the UK. He lived in the UK, and we put it, oh, God. I remember when everybody showed up to his channel. They were like, showed up with pitchforks and stuff. Hashtags, justice for Ernie, stuff like that. It was crazy. It was crazy, my friend. That was like in my first year of streaming. My very first year that happened. And then I used to have, like trolls like crazy coming up. We used to have all kinds of, that's why I went subscriber only for the chat. When I used to have just open chat, oh my God, we used to have so many problems, my friend. Oh, sex bots, all the nasty stuff would pop in. People trying to sell you stuff. Yes, he got banned. So what happened with him, Sweet Shay, he didn't get banned because of me. He got banned because he tried the same shenanigans with a streamer who was actually well known. Okay, now when he pulled that with me, I actually gave him a second chance. Okay, I actually tried to give this guy a second chance, and then he started his shenanigans again, and I banned him. But yeah, he got in trouble. He got banned. He got kicked off of Twitch, and he got kicked off of YouTube because he was doing the same thing with me, but with a guy who was well known and had clout. Yeah, he lost both of his channels. I look for him every once in a while. Now he was totally surprised because when he started doing that to me, I got all detective and I tracked him down online. And I found out, where he lived. I found out his name. Oh yeah, I found out all kinds of stuff about him, and that's why he left me alone. Because I work asset protection, I think that way, In my job, I have to figure out crimes. Yeah, Froggo, I've seen a lot of stuff. I've had a pretty interesting career for my 3 years of YouTube. I've been nominated for an award. That was also my first year where I got up and coming Animal Crossing streamer. I was pretty close to winning, but I got beat by this lady who is very talented, So, yeah, that's definitely okay, Agent Kitty. You did the right thing. I had trouble with the mod before. One of my original mods. Yeah, she burned down my Discord. And then I also had a mod. Oh God, my friends. When I first started streaming, I had a mod and I had no idea she was 10 years old. I had a mod that was 10 years old. I did not know it. I did not know it. I was still new. And then when I had to tell her she couldn't be my mod again, it broke my heart because she was the nicest young girl. But she was too young and I couldn't have her do that. Yeah, I've gone through my share of events streaming, but I've never trash talked people. I've always been positive. I've always made it a point to be a positive influence in the internet world, Now, I could easily talk about politics or talk about like all the shoplifting I see at Walmart, and I could have a big old stream, but that's not what I want, I do this for fun. I do this as a, Tell me about it, Sweet Shay. I was devastated when I found out, and I felt bad because she was good at a mod. She was nice. She was nice, and she was, it was very early on. Well, that's pretty good, Angel. In the way you were being saved, you were being saved by the universe. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And now you see all these YouTuber people getting in trouble. I keep, you had to be 13 and up. But now you have to be even older now. Now they changed the rules now. Now you have to be older. I know a lot of people who are losing their channels. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really hoping that she comes back when she's older. I'm hoping I'm still streaming when she's older. But I don't know. But I was very nice about it. You'll get it back, Froggo. You just got to type a little bit more. The fact is, we're all here together. What matters, my friend. And I'll hang out for a little while longer. I'm not tired, so if you guys are in no rush, we'll just hang out and talk. Usually it's weird not playing games. Yeah. See, that's the thing is, you guys are supposed to be there to help keep. Yep. Don't worry about it. You go back. You'll go up and down, my friend. Yeah. Now I used to mod for Marshy and Marshy's World, and then now if I was retired and didn't have to work, I would mod for other people and do my own stream too. Cool. Pretty soon I'm gonna do stuff with points. I gotta figure out how to give you guys stuff for points. But I'm so glad you guys are here, my friends. I love you guys all so much. And I hope I'm a positive influence for you. I really try to be positive. Even though things can get bad, and if I talk about negative things, I try to put a positive spin because I'm a firm believer of you are what you eat. It's the same thing with your mind. If you ingest all this negative stuff in your brain, you're going to have negative thoughts. Okay, so that's why I always try to have a little bit of a message when I do stuff. That's why I'm just a grandpa, Yep, that's how you do it. I just think this whole YouTube culture is neat. It's just a whole nother world, my friend. Now, okay, so when I first started streaming, I used to follow this other person a lot, and they were really a nice guy, right? And so what happened is I got in somehow, my friends, I got into a private chat with a bunch of streamers and mods. This was like years ago, okay? And at first I thought it was an accident, right? And I'm thinking they let me in just to tell me stuff, right? Because that's back when I was getting trolled all the time. And that's back when my island used to crash all the time. Because I used to have people come and crash my island on purpose. And so I learned a lot from that private chat. I'm trying to remember what the age is. I think it's like 16 or 17 now if you have your own channel. I'm trying to remember. Most of it's the rules if you have your own channel. Because I know there's a few people that used to subscribe to my channel that do their own channel, and I keep an eye on them and just see how they were growing. And I know one person made a comment that they were sad that they had to stop streaming because they weren't old enough. You know what it is, Angel Kitty? It's the troll aspect. It's the troll aspect of it. What it is some people aren't happy, and so they gotta make other people unhappy. That's what I remember, like with Neminsky. I remember when Neminsky, people used to freak out about Neminsky, and I saw him on different islands. And when I first saw Neminsky, I thought it was Alexei pulling like a skit on me. I didn't know he was a real person. Yeah. Oh, I don't worry about you. Yeah, I saw a mention of that in the Discord. No, I'm always happy when you show up, Shay, because you're very respectful. You see, I'm very lucky, and I have a nice group of friends that show up, because you know why? Birds of a feather flock together, my friends. You can judge people by the friends and company they keep. Yep. Yeah, I got to be careful about going to the Treasure Islands before streams, because you get stuck there. Yeah. Hey, Annabelle, Are you doing good, my friend? How have you been? Now, you shouldn't tell your age anyways, my friend. You got to protect your privacy. There's a lot of creeps online, okay? There's a lot of creeps online. There's a lot of older men that are terrible. There's some older women that do the same thing too, but the majority are older men. Well, good, my friend. See, usually, Froggo, this is not a regular thing for us. Usually I play for 2 hours and I'm gaming. We don't do this many talking streams, but like I said, all my equipment's in Albuquerque. I don't have no computer. It's gonna be funky this next couple of days, because I'm on the computer like all the time. Well, good, my friend. I'm glad, Annabelle. I'm glad you're doing good. And it's, the thing about it is, my friends, I remember a lot of the folks, and if you guys don't show up, I think about you, offline. I wonder how you're doing, and the thing about it is that we're friends. You guys show up on the corner of my Switch when we're playing games. Oh, Froggo, you know why? It's because, hey, creepy Uncle Daddy, nice to meet you, my friend. Good, I'm glad you're here. Yes, I am in the process of moving, my friends. I'm in the process of moving. I'm getting a divorce, and I have to sell my home. That's the only reason why I'm moving. Because because before I got divorced, I took out a loan for $60,000, and I spent it all on this house. So this house is very nice. You see that carpet right there? That's brand new carpet, my friends. I bought the most expensive carpet you can buy because I thought I was going to live here forever. And the paint, it's all fresh. Yeah, I got to start getting better about posting a schedule. Well, school is more important, Annabelle. The channel you have time for. See, like for me, I work 4 days a week. And I still do the channel 3 days a week. And then I do channel's a lot of work, my friend. I know, Copper. I've already lowered the price of the house like $49,000. If it wasn't for the economy, I would have sold already. Now the thing about it is, I can't go any lower. Oh, okay. So Annabelle, there was no cheating. Okay, no infidelity. Okay, there was no cheating. So that wasn't the usual reason. It's just me and Linda grew apart. Okay. So the thing about it is Linda and myself, we were 14 and 15 years old when we got together. Okay. And we were 62 and 61 when we broke up. So we spent almost our whole lives together, okay? And we became different people. And we became different people, and those people didn't get along anymore. And we were just so toxic for each other. And she wanted to go. And so she wasn't happy anymore. So I wasn't going to try to keep her. Yeah, but that's why I'm getting a divorce, my friend. I don't mind talking about it, because it's real, it's part of my life. Now, it really makes it rough because, Linda was a big part of my life. We worked together. We did the Animal Crossing stuff together. I'm not going to lie, editing that last Halloween Camp movie was very sad. And, oh, I'm glad your neck is doing better, my friend. I'm so glad you're here, Matt. Yeah. It was really hard to edit that Animal Crossing movie. It really was. That's why I deleted my original island. I had that island for 5 years. And that's why I deleted it, because there was just too much history on it. Yeah. Yeah. But it's just, that was very hard for me to do. But I had to. I had to because she had a house on there. And we got married on that island. And oh, I will, my friend. I will. Creepy Uncle Daddy. I'm just gonna call you creepy, okay? That's what my best friend was telling me. That basically that experience was basically getting ready for my true soulmate. I'm in no hurry. Yeah. Oh God, I got tons of pictures, real life and on the thing. It's just weird, you know. Yeah, the movies, the football games. It's gonna be really rough when I have to edit the Jose and the Kitty Cat video movie because in that one we're a couple. Now, the funny part about that, my friends, is when we were making those movies, the Halloween Camp movies, that's when me and Linda were really fighting a lot. Okay, so it was really weird. So basically, I'm editing footage of me and her being a couple in our movie, but we're not a couple in real life, and everything was falling apart. It was very Hollywood. It was very really Hollywood. That's why I've been having trouble trying to make some new movies because she was my voice actor, and me and her really had a good flow, and we were able to improvise off the top of her head. I missed her. I'm not gonna lie, I miss her. I miss her. I miss when we used to get along. I'd be a liar to say if I wasn't. Also is my dog. I got him. He stayed with me. The bird was Linda's, the dog was mine. Yeah. It's weird, my friends. It was really hard because me and her spent so much time together. We broke up, got together, broke up, got together, broke up, and got together so many times in our life. We only had one child. And it's hard. But it's okay because everything happens for a reason, my friend. And I'm being positive about it. See, that's the main thing I told myself, that I would not get bitter about the divorce and I would not hate ladies. Okay? So I got two friends right now that are like two sides of the same coin. Okay? So I got a friend who's giving me all this dating advice. And then I got another friend who's been hurt by his divorce, and his advice is not so good. Hey, thanks all 11 people. Thanks for liking and watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks, hey, you guys get to see the real me. Pull back the mic, you guys always do anyways, I don't hide nothing from you guys. I don't, because the way I feel, my friends, is you guys give me your time, okay? Time is the most valuable commodity, all right? And so I owe it to you to be real. And so by being real, I can be entertaining. Because people can sense fakeness. Yeah. And so that's why I like to be real. And then, and so that's why I try to, have like little messages, try to be positive, that's why I try to like not knock anybody down. Even if I don't agree with you, I try to find a way to not agree with you without being an ass about it, Now with my job, I have to deal with shoplifters, drunks, and stuff. So that my job can get pretty crazy, my friends. Okay, I've already had 3 guns pulled on me in my job. Okay, I've been punched, I've been pushed, I've been spit on. I had a lady jump on my foot and break my toe, and then I've had a knife pulled on me. I've had a baseball bat waved at me. Not so much lately, but when I used to go to public places, I used to have these shoplifters try to mess with me. So one time in Burger King, I had to tell the guy to leave me alone or I was going to hit him with the chair. And so when I talk to these guys, I talk to them like I'm talking to you right now. I talk to them calm, and I look them in the eye, and I don't waver. One time I had to chase a guy across the parking lot because he was being all threatening. And then so I'm chasing him across the parking lot, and then so basically, and so what I did is I basically put my chin on his shoulder, and I told him, "Hey, bro," I goes, "I used to run track in high school. I'm not even running fast." And then I whispered some scary stuff in his ear, and he ran away and never bothered me again. And so that's the thing about these guys, Even I got the Chihuahua bravery. Now, I don't go out looking for fights, my friend. I don't go looking out for fights, but I'm not afraid. One time I was at Panda Express, and me and my Linda and my best friend and her wife were eating dinner when this older lady, probably in her 70s, was walking by herself, and this crazy homeless man ran up on her and started screaming at her. Now, this crazy homeless man was a foot taller than me, but I jumped over the fence of the Panda Express, ran in between him and the older lady, and I started letting him have it. I didn't start fighting him, but I got in his face, and then basically, I'm not afraid of people. I don't talk about my asset protection stuff at Walmart too much because my supervisor says I'm not allowed to talk about stuff because it can jeopardize court cases, okay? Now, the reason why I talked about the guys that pulled the guns on me, because that's all been resolved. Now, the last guy who pulled the gun on me, I had to go to court for. Hi, Kelsey. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, so the last guy I had to go to court for, right? Because he pulled a gun, and I was able to tie him to a stolen vehicle, right? And some other awful things. Now, they let him out of court accidentally, okay? They let him out by mistake. And the judge was mad, okay? And then the cops asked me if I wanted police protection. And I said, no, just catch him. And then a year after that happened, the police got a hold of me and told me I didn't have to worry anymore because they found the guy dead in the car, So I see a lot of messed up stuff, my friends. I see a lot of messed up stuff in my job. I don't do so much anymore. I'm not really doing the asset protection work since I started having the heart trouble. But I do have to kick out the drunks. That's what I deal with. Not so much the shoplifting unless I'm assisting, But usually I'm really good. When it comes to kicking out the drunks, I'm the best one there because I have the calm voice, okay? So whenever there's drunks or crazy homeless people, I get to deal with those guys, And then usually if I assist, I'm always an observer, okay? So, but I don't do that too much anymore since I started having the health problems and started fainting. I've had an exciting life, my friends. Now, once I retire from Walmart, I can write a book about my experiences. I've already talked to my supervisor about my YouTube thing, because my supervisor knows I'm a YouTuber, and that's why we had this talk about, me not talking about my job, other than a couple of funny things. I'm doing okay, Kelsey, considering, life is kicking my butt right now. I'm doing fantastic. The valve cover in my car blew up. Thank God it didn't blow the engine. It's still going to be like $3,500 to fix it. So I got to borrow more money from more relatives. And then, but I'm very blessed. I'm very thankful. It's in my head, my friend. I'm really good at that kind of stuff. Good night, Annabelle. Thank you for being here, and God bless you, my friend. And do good in school. Yeah, I'm gonna, I already got it kind of worked out in my head, so I'm really good at that kind of stuff. I'm really good at improvising and making things sound good. So, and it's memories I'm never gonna forget, my friend. You see, some of these experiences I'm never gonna forget. And unfortunately, it's more terrifying than funny. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times I feel bad for people. A lot of the times it's because of people are hooked on drugs, my friend. And that's a lot of it. And it's really sad. Now, it's really ironic because, so about 2 years ago, they had this house in Santa Fe that was not far from the Walmart and the Target. And what it was is this house was a fence, okay? So all these shoplifters were taking the stuff to this one house and selling it and trading it for drugs, okay? So they raided the house, okay? And so when they raided the house, the police brought back some merchandise that belonged to Walmart, okay? That was actually Walmart that they tracked back to our store. Now the cool part about it is one of the items was a Five Nights at Freddy. It was 2 Five Nights at Freddy figures, and it was the big ones. It was the big, like 14-inch tall toys of Freddy and Bonnie. And I bought those. I bought those once the investigation was over, and we were able to get that stuff back from the courts, because I used it as evidence. I bought the Bonnie and I bought the Freddy. So those guys have actually been in a crime scene. I'll talk about that later in the video when I have the products. Good luck. Hey guys, hearts in the chat for Annabelle. No more than 3 hearts, okay? Hearts in the chat for Annabelle, wishing her luck on her job. I've seen some crazy stuff, my friends. I've worked retail for like 38 years. Almost 40 years of retail. Now, before I started working at Walmart, I used to work at craft stores and art stores, okay? So I've only been at Walmart at 11 years. So all this craziness has been in the 11 years of working at Walmart. When I worked at the craft stores, Aaron Brothers and Michael's craft store, respectively, those are the 2 stores I worked at. We had shoplifting, but nothing like Walmart. Now I really miss those jobs because I used to help people with craft projects. It was so fun. It was so fun because I used to be a picture framer. I did picture framing for 28 years. And so when I wasn't working the framing counter, because I was the frame manager of that department, and I was in charge of the framing section of the floor, and then since I was really good at art and really good with materials, I would also help a lot of people. And my favorite part of the job was helping parents and the kids with school projects. Yes, 11 years is a long time, my friend. I spent 1/6 of my life inside the same Walmart building. And they don't want me to go. They've already offered me 2 manager positions already. They offered me the electronics manager job, and they also offered me the men's clothing department as well. But I told them no, because I want to move. I just want to move. I can't be in that store anymore because there's too many memories of me and my ex there. That's why I gotta go, okay? So what happens, my friends, is me and Linda have been separated for 11 months already, okay? She hasn't worked in that store for like 7 months, okay? But a couple of times a week, I have somebody asking me, where's your wonderful wife? Where's Linda? Where's your wonderful wife? I haven't seen her. And then I got to tell people the story over and over again. Now it's happening less and less, but it still happens at least once a week. No, creepy. I used to live in California. I lived in Pomona, California, home of the Winter Nationals. We used to have drag racing, okay? But my family moved from Spain to New Mexico in the 1600s, okay? So myself and my older cousins, we were the first ones in my family bloodline to not be born in New Mexico, because my mom moved to California when she was a kid. So yeah, but a lot of my relatives back in the 90s, we all migrated back to New Mexico. And then I moved to Oregon for a while, and then I moved back to New Mexico. So, but a lot of my other cousins and stuff moved back to California. I love New Mexico. I love living here. This is the most awesome place to be for me. Not for, it's my cup of tea. Now, my brother lives in San Fran. My brother lives walking distance from the big park in downtown. So, yeah, my brother lives in Frisco. My brother lives walking distance. My brother lives near the Nintendo store in that part of town. So, he pays like big money for a studio apartment, but he loves it there. I'm going to go visit him. So once all this madness is done, and then, I'll probably go visit him in Frisco, and I'll make a video at the Nintendo store. This will be sometime next year. Yeah. No, it's not. It's not been an easy year for immigration or anything else. Not for nothing. This has been a terrible year for a lot of people, but we'll make it out through together. Yeah, my dad was born in Texas, creepy. My dad was born in Texas. So my mom was born in New Mexico and my dad was born in Texas. But my dad died when I was 12 years old. Okay, and I look like my dad. I know, my friend. It's been tough, but we'll make it through together. As long as you're together, we'll make it through. You got it, Angel Kitty. That's how we get through. That's why I like streaming. That's why I try to be a positive force. You know, I try to be a positive force. And I was doing that before I started streaming, because when the doctor told me I should have died, that's when I turned my life around, I quit drinking, but I wasn't really a mean drunk. I was a happy drunk, but I had to stop drinking because of my heart. Oh, that's not good. Are you okay, Frago? I know how that is. I used to be bullied in school. Okay, so like I mentioned, my dad died when I was 12 years old. So in elementary school, my dad used to be the trash man to my school. My dad was a trash man. He drove a trash truck. So I would wait by the trash can, and then my dad would show up, and I would visit for him for 5 minutes, okay? And then my dad would give me comic books, basically stuff he found in the trash. Comic books, horror magazines, all kinds of stuff that other parents threw away. And then when the kids found out that my dad was a trash man, they used to chase me around. They used to chase me around, go, trash man, son, in the trash you go. And then they would throw me in the trash can. Yeah, I never forgot that. That traumatized the heck out of me. Yeah. I'm sorry about that, Froggo. I hope things get better for you, okay? Don't let them break you. Never let the bully break you, because that's what they want. When you show strength and you show resolve and they can't break you, that makes them mad. Because you know what? Because a bully is weak. A bully is a weak, insecure little person that has to pick on somebody to feel big. Now, one thing you can count on, Froggo, is that bully is going to pay in the long run, okay? If not by somebody else, by themselves. They'll end up hating themselves, and they'll end up torturing themselves, or they'll end up getting their butt kicked by somebody tougher. Yep. They are. It is worse today because of social media. That's why it's worse today, because the bad news travels faster. Social media it's like anything, my friends. It can be good, it can be bad. It can be you can be obsessed with it. You can be you got to be careful. It's easy to be obsessed with social media. Yeah, that's too bad, my friend. Don't worry, karma will get them. Karma always. You reap what you sow, my friends. You reap what you sow. And sometimes it takes a long time to sow, but you always get your comeuppance. You always get your due. Yep, big time jealousy. I know how that is. I've had that problem. Most of me, I've had jealous people give me hard times. That was my YouTube experience when I first started. I think my battery is running out. Pardon me, friends. I started smoking the vape big time when I got the divorce news dropped on me. I used to smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. That's probably why I had a heart attack when I was taking care of my niece and nephew. So I needed something to help with the stress, so I figured the vape would be healthier than the cigarettes. Now, I used to smoke a lot more of these, but a lot less now. I'm dealing with the situation, I'm just accepting it and going with the flow, Everything happens for a reason. I got ladies chasing me around at work right now, too. It's kind of crazy. But I'm not ready to date. I'm not ready to date yet. I'm not ready. I don't want to start dating until this is all resolved, because I don't want to involve another person in this drama. It's not fair to them. It wouldn't be fair to a new person if I can't devote my happy time to them. You see, that was meant to be, my friend Frogos. That was meant to be. Yeah. You find out who your friends are in times of crisis, my friends. Times of crisis when character comes out. Yep. We're going to stop at the 2-hour mark, okay? We're at 1 hour and 41 minutes. I do tell, yeah. I've been watching a lot of videos, Creepy, about relationships and stuff. And the big thing is, you don't want to get in the rebound. You don't want to jump in there right away. Now, I haven't had to go on a date in decades, my friend, decades. I'm terrified, to be honest. I am truly terrified. I don't know what to do. I don't drink, so going to bars is out of the question. It's just, I'm like 62 years old. Luckily I'm in good shape. I like to go to concerts. I got a coworker who wants to go to a concert with me. She wants to go see Christopher Cross because she likes romantic music. But I'm not ready yet. I was just like, yeah. It's just crazy, my friends. But what I'm going through, a bunch of people are going through right now. So nothing's new under the sun. If you're experiencing it, somebody else is at the very same moment. We're not alone, my friends. There's times that you might feel alone, but we're not alone. That's good. You have a chat. That's good. You should try to try to at least, let it go on a good note. I've been talking to my ex on the phone just for like 5 minutes at a time, but it's only because we're talking about house stuff. I really don't like to talk about anything other than business because, it just hurts too much. Yeah, gotta try to fix it if it can be fixed. Sometimes things can't be fixed and you gotta walk away. That's the hard part. That's what made this thing tough. Like I said, there was no cheating involved. We just didn't like each other anymore. Well, she probably doesn't, my friend. She's probably preoccupied with something else. But that's okay. Put it on the back burner for a while. Yeah. Now, I do gotta add, dating me is not easy though, because I got a big ego. I got a I don't know, not like a big ego. It's just I got a big presence, and it just comes easy for me. So I can overshadow people, and I can be too much, and then it's just hard. And I've been thinking about the past. I'm trying to think, what could I have done different? And then my friend told me not to do that anymore, and then it's not good for me. So I stopped doing that. I caught myself looking at a bunch of old pictures of me and Linda together, and I just was like trying to figure out, when did the change happen? I was trying to look for it in her face. And then my friend said, stop doing that. It's not good for me. Yeah. Sometimes it happens, Sprago. Now, I got a best friend that, that we stopped talking, and then we can just pick it up like time's never passed. Yes, I know what you mean, Angel Kitty. This community is what's been keeping me alive, my friends. The YouTube, my channel, all you guys. I would not have made it through this, and then I've been dealing with all these health issues. That's why I started streaming, because I was homesick for a month. I've been dealing with some serious health issues for the last 3 years. It's all been because of my heart, and then, that's what they found out, because at first they didn't know what was wrong with me. Oh God, my friends, I lost 20 pounds. I lost 20 pounds, and, and I got really sick, and that's why I started streaming, because I was home for a month. If you listen to my really early videos, you can hear it. You can hear I'm barely breathing. Yeah. Thanks for being here so late, my friends. Thanks for hanging out. It means a lot. It means a lot to all of us because we needed to hang out together. And that's why I did this, because I was lonely. I was lonely. It was too quiet, you know. I'm in this house alone, you know. And the problem is there's just me and the bad memories. That's what's in this house right now. Is me and the bad memories. That's what's here. Yeah. I can see myself having narcissistic traits, but I try to keep a handle on it, right? You know, I try. Life's hard, my friends. That's what makes it special. I miss my piano. Oh, good, educated. I worry about that sometimes. You know, I worry about it because, you know, my biggest fear is that I think I'm the hero and that I actually am the villain. You know, and it's just, it's just hard. This whole divorce thing is like kicked me in the head, and it's just made it really hard. I think the violin's my favorite sound. But you got to have an ego, my friend. You got to kind of have to have an ego to be able to do this YouTube thing. You know, I don't know. It's just weird. You got to be a talker. You got to be a talker. You got to be able to talk and not worry about people being here or not, and being able to talk for 2 hours straight. You got to remember too, my friend, if you're like in high school or whatever age you are, you're going through a lot of changes, my friend. And and don't stress, because sometimes it's just not you. Sometimes it's about the other person. That's what happened with me and Linda. It was just she changed and I changed. And then that happens. Hey, little Ray Ray, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. You doing okay? I'm glad you're here, my friend. How you been? You been all right? It's another person whose channel you should go check out, my friend. You should go check out our friend Little Ray Ray. It's a great community. So lucky. We're so lucky to have this. We're so lucky to have a wonderful group of people. I feel very honored and blessed that you guys accepted me the way you did. Because I could be a little weird, my friends. I'm not gonna lie. My Animal Crossing streams are a little different. It's not the usual like decorating stuff. I try to be like a little soap opera. I try to approach my Animal Crossing like it's a TV show, and that it's my life. Oh God, I hope your son's okay again. Oh, it's so hard. Well, hearts in the chat for little Ray Ray's son. It's hard being a parent, my friend. It's hard being a parent. My heart goes out for you. That's the worst feeling in the world when your child's sick. Because you would rather it be you than them. But yeah, I like to do it. That's why I like to do the different stuff. I had the alien invasion, the movies, the football games. I haven't seen anybody do football games in Animal Crossing like we've done, my friends. I look and I haven't seen anybody do that. I really wish it would catch on. I really wish we can get more people to play Animal Crossing football. I gotta get it. We gotta get some games in by the end of December. Yeah. But no, I like Animal Crossing for me is therapy, my friends. So whenever you hear me talk about the animals, I'm talking about myself. I think that's why I like the Misfits so much. That's why I defend all these little guys. Yeah. That game saved my life, friends. Animal Crossing saved my life. And it opened up a whole new world for me. I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing got me here. I'm never going to abandon that game. I'll be playing Animal Crossing till the very end. I love that game. It feels so real. I'm so attached to those little guys. It's so funny. Wow. Yep, they are. God, this is amazing, my friends. What an amazing time we live in. Just wait till January. Well, that's okay, my friend. As long as you get it out in the open, don't push it. Just let it go for a while. Let it stew. Let it grow. Because if you're too pushy, then you push away. Human interaction is hard, my friends. It's hard being a human. It's hard. Sometimes I wish I could be a dog. If I was going to be a dog, I'd be a Chihuahua. I'd be like Ren from like Ren and Stimpy. That's me. I'm Ren. I need a Stimpy to complete me. Yeah, but it's just challenging, my friends. I'm really bummed out about the car. Not being able to have my computer. The funny thing about it is when the car broke down, it's like, oh my God, how am I going to stream? That's the first thing I thought about is how am I going to stream? Froggo, you got to be careful, my friend. Got to be careful. You got to watch the cats, Froggo. Nightbot's pretty intense. So, don't be sorry. It's okay. You just got to be careful, all right? Say, because I used to have a lot of trouble. That's why I have the Nightbot. You know, Nightbot is the bad cop, good cop thing. It used to be worse, if you could believe it. I've actually made it better. It used to be worse. How are we doing on time? Yeah. It's almost 11 o'clock, friends. So when we hit the 2-hour mark, that's when we should call it a night, okay? In 3 minutes. No, you can do caps like normal. You just can't do all caps. You can't do all caps. You can't do too many, exclamation points, that kind of stuff, you know. And you can't do more than 3 emoticons at one time. Because we had to do it that way because we were having too many problems, you know, with people just going crazy in the chat. And they made it hard for our friends to keep order. And then that's another reason why, if you notice, I don't do commercials during my live streams. I do commercials on the replays because, you know, I was all excited about being monetized, but the commercials really break up the stream and it just breaks up the flow, okay? And for me, you know, being monetized was more about like a status symbol thing for me, you know, because I make $100 every 3 months. Like right now, I'm like $5 shy of I'm like 95 and some change right now. So I make $100 every 3 months. Now I don't do this for money. You know, I do this because I love it. You know, and it takes a while, Froggo. It was not easy. It was not easy to be monetized, okay? Yeah. Yep. So basically, now, how I got monetized, so basically, I was hovering like in the 800s, okay? And I couldn't break the 800s. And because basically, everybody in the Animal Crossing community who subscribed to me pretty much subscribed to me already. And it wasn't until I started making Warhammer videos that I was able to pop and get monetized. That's how I broke the 1,000. Oh, the watch hours? Okay, let's play a little game. Hold on. Can I type? Hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on here. Okay, my friends. Hold on. Yep. That's what pushed me over the edge was the Warhammer stuff. Now, myself, I never had trouble with the watch hours, okay? I had watch hours right away, okay? So right now, my friends, I am sitting on 23,000. For me, I played the Greenskins, creepy. So I play Night Goblins, Orcs, and Vampire Counts. Those are my Warhammer armies, okay? And then in 40K, I play Orcs. Now I'm sitting, yeah. Oh, hey, Carissy. Hold on, my friend. Wait a minute. And here's Carissy. Now, Carissy is a very special lady because she was my 8th subscriber. Thanks for the super chat. That's where it's at. I said, thank you, my friend. Thank you again. I said, thank you, Carissy. Thank you, my friend. I thank you again. All right. Check out our friend Carissy, our friend from down under, other side of the world. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. It's 1 o'clock in the morning where you're at. For me, it is it midnight already? Midnight. It's midnight, my friends. It's midnight. 2 a.m. Central. I'm Mountain Time. Yeah, but I got like 23,000 watch hours, my friends. I got 23,000 watch hours, and I have like 260K views. I'm a night owl too. I don't go to bed till late. So that's why I'm glad you guys are up. That's why I don't mind hanging out. Yeah, it's hard. And I get up early, and I get up early, but because I'm an old man. And I always get up at like 5 o'clock, 5:30, I'm hoping tonight I could sleep the night through. Because I've been getting up, I've been waking up at 3 in the morning all worried about stuff. Mostly money. But, you should go to bed, Froggo. You should go to bed, my friend. You're not missing much. We're just hanging out, and, I'm glad you've been here the whole time. But yeah, you should go to bed. If you got school or something important, you should go to bed. I'm glad you guys are all here. I'm glad you're all here and you're spending time with me. It's important that we spend this time together, my friends. Okay, well, just don't push yourself, okay? I might stay on for another half hour, But actually, what I have to do is I gotta take a quick break really quick. Hold on. I gotta use the restroom. So I'm gonna sit you here really quick. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, friends. Welcome back. Yep. Yeah, this is important we spend time together, my friends. This is how we connect. Thank you, Angel. Yeah, so as time goes on, I'm going to be having more of a presence. So like right now, I stream like 3 times a week, but as I get closer to my retirement, and then basically I'll be streaming, I'll be online more. So you'll be seeing more of me in the coming years, God willing. God willing, my friends, God willing. Even though I have health problems, I do take care of myself, and I plan on staying around, Tell me about it, my friend. Hey, hearts in the chat for Creepy. It's hard, bro. I know it's hard, my friend. It's hard. That's why I'm at Walmart. I used to be a picture framer. Did that for 28 years. Walmart was supposed to be a temporary job, just for until I found another framing job, and I can't find a framing job anymore. Yep, I miss my cats. Actually, I miss my mom's cats, but they're pretty much my cats. But yeah, it's hard looking for a job, my friend. I want to be back into picture framing so bad. I miss working at art stores, crafting stores, but there's no money in it right now. And Walmart's safe. Walmart's going to be the last man standing, Now, I watch a lot of financial news, and, basically the person I like to watch, this analyst, this economist, says whenever Walmart is doing good, that means the economy is not doing good, because people are going to Walmart to save money. Now, it's just funky, my friends. Oh, I bet. That's hard work too, my friend. That's hard work. That's hard labor work. That's hard work. That's a good skill, though. Well, it's always been that way, Copper. Framing's always been expensive. See, that was my job. It was my job. You would bring in a $30 poster, and I would have you be spending $500 on it. And I was good at my job, because I was really good at designing. And I think that really helps with my Animal Crossing work with colors and all, you know. I really miss picture framing. I got to see the coolest things. Now, once I start unpacking stuff, I got a lot of neat things to show off. Because I have a lot of cool collectibles. I have a lot of antiques. I was telling my best friend I need to get one of those GoPro cameras so you guys can see when I'm unpacking stuff. You know, I got a lot of neat objects. I got a lot of stories to tell. And then I'm gonna start making some crafting videos too. I got a Chihuahua named Oso, and he has bad hips, unfortunately, because the lady I got him from kept him locked in a kennel the first years of life and kept him tied to a kitchen table, and that's why I bought him. Really? That's crazy. See, that's crazy. Now, the frame shop I would have worked at would have charged you $45 for that copper, not $200. That's a burn. See, that's taking advantage of you, because you could have fixed that in no time. I have all the equipment to do picture framing. In fact, I used to do it on the side. I used to do it on the side for Indian market because I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and New Mexico was a big art market. Santa Fe was a big art market. There used to be 27 frame shops in this town. Now there's like not even 7. Yeah, of course, that's good. Yeah, some places are just like, they give businesses a bad name. You know, you get that with mechanics and other kind of stuff. You know, it's a drag. All it takes is one good person to ruin it for everybody. Hey, Garrett, how you doing, my friend? Good to see ya. Do I have any ghost stories? Not really, my friend. Not really. I haven't really had much supernatural dealings. You be careful, Froggo. You're getting yourself all anxiety, okay? You got to take some deep breaths and relax, my friend. That's anxiety pains, okay? Nice to see you, Garrett. I'm glad you're here. No, Garrett, mostly I work at Walmart. You know, I stream video games. I play Warhammer. You know, I'm a grandpa. I talk about grandpa stuff. Oh, yes, I do play instruments. I play a harmonica. And then I kind of play a keyboard, but not really good. See, there's the keyboard I have, and I'm kind of learning, okay? I'm not really the best at the keyboard. But I'm trying to learn. I got to be careful. I can't turn it on because it's already midnight, and I live in a townhome. Now, my first instruments were harmonicas, okay? Those are my first instruments. Like for example here, like I'm trying to find, okay, like here you go. Now you see this harmonica right here? This harmonica I've had for 30 years, okay? I had this guy for 30 years. Yes, I can play the harmonica. I can play that. So hold on. That I can play, my friend. We're gonna go into another room to do that, okay? So I don't make as much noise. But yeah, hold on. We'll go right here. This won't be as noisy. I'm in an empty house pretty much. I just got some furniture for staging. Hold on. Let's get something a little softer. Okay, here we go. Nope, hold on. I'm trying to be quiet because it's midnight. Where's my B flat? Here it is. I've been walking. I've been walking down that road. When I started walking, I was a young man. And now I'm an old one too. I spent my whole life walking, walking to you. I said there's times I wanna cry. I said there's times I just wanna die. And then there's times I wanna smile. And then there's times I'm glad I'm alive all the while and said I'm here, here. And the world is so clear. Now these ones are newer. I found these in the thrift store. It's supposed to be a pack of 6, and now usually that goes for $40, but I got 3 of them for $19. Now this harmonica I've had for 30 years as well. Hold on. What are you guys saying? Yep, could just be anxiety. Maybe that pain in your chest is a sign that you need to rest. Maybe you need to breathe easy and just let it go. Close your eyes and think of something nice. Say, there you go. Look out the window, my friend, and think there's the wind blowing again. And blow away your cares. And blow away your cares. I said we're here together, hanging out, talking about what's in our heart. And that's the way to be. And that's the way you see. And I'm glad that you're my friends. I'm glad that you're my friends. I'm glad that you're my. I'm so glad you're my friend. And let's hang out again. I said, don't you know, you gotta grow, you gotta grow. You gotta know, you gotta let it go. You gotta keep the good. You gotta keep it alive. I said, here we are, it's midnight, it's late. I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. I said, I need something good to happen. And my friends, you're that good thing too. I said, here we are, together, my friends. You're on that side of the screen, I'm here again. I said, don't you know, don't you know, don't you know, a friendship's the key. I'm so thankful you're spending time with me. It's getting late. It's after dark. I should be in bed, but I just can't sleep. And I'm thankful, friends, and I'm thankful that you're here. All right. How's it going, friends? 7 people, and it's been 2 hours and 15 minutes. You have acid reflux, Copper? I'm sorry, my friend. Oh, I'm sorry. You okay? Is everybody all right? Wow, what a night, my friends. Okay, you know what? We got to call it. 14 likes, thank you. Well, usually, Creepy, what I do is, whenever I get rated, I play a harmonica song, and then I'll have like little videos I release where I play the piano and my dog's on my lap. Check out my channel, you can see my videos. But usually I play the harmonica like, you know, when somebody comes. I used to sing in bars. I used to be in a band. I used to be in a band called the New Mutants, okay? And then I used to be in a band called the Meat Men. And nobody famous, you know. The biggest crowd I played for was we played a pizza grand opening for like 250 people, okay? That's the biggest crowd I ever sang for. Now, I used to sing in a church choir. That was bigger crowds I sang for, you know. We did a tour one time in the church choir I was in. We did a tour where we went to a bunch of different parks and stuff in California, you know, but yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I miss being in a band, bro. I really miss being in a band. You know, I don't really know any musicians, but I'm moving to Albuquerque. Okay, so right now I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and that's like 88,000 people. Okay, and then Albuquerque has like 500,000 people, and so I'll start hitting the karaoke. I'll meet some people. Now that I'm a single guy, I'm gonna have a lot of free time. So I'm hoping to hit the karaoke circuit, meet some people, maybe get into some blues. You know, God has a plan for me. And you guys are along for the ride. This has been so nice, my friends. It has been so nice. I needed to hang out with you guys, and I imagine some of you needed to hang out with me, because it was a lonely night. What a wonderful Friday. We got to do this more often. So maybe we'll start doing this more often where, you know, we'll hang out for like a Friday and just talk and hang out for an hour. Life's a journey, and the journey is always better when you have good friends to ride with. You know, wow, what a night, my friends. What a night. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm not going to stream tomorrow because I don't have my equipment. I'm trying to decide if I should do the Chuck Troll and just put my camera in front of the switch. I don't know. I don't know yet. That's what I'm thinking about, Angel Kitty. But I have to walk home after work tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes. But I might be able to get a ride. But I'm thinking, you know, I can just do like I do with Chuck. You know, like Chuck does, just put my phone in front of the switch and do it that way. I'll have to try it. Because I love being with you guys. I don't like being alone. And it's just nice to have you guys be hanging out with me. You know, because, you know, we're friends. And, you know, and the algorithm brings us all together. You know, we were meant to be friends, folks. You know, everything happens for a reason, you know. So we're meant to be a group. You know, we're all like-minded individuals that have a connection, you know, and we'll discover that what it is down the road. Yeah. I wish, my friend, I wish. I would love to. Now, the only person I've actually met in real life is Copper Valor. So out of all my online friends and the streamers that I've met, Copper is the only person I met in real life. I would like to do that again sometime, Copper. That'd be fun to meet again. But yeah, folks, we'll do this again, okay? A little earlier next time. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for hanging out with me. It means a lot. Carissy, thank you for that super chat, my friend. You guys are awesome. Hey, Creepy, hope you come back, my friend. Garrett, I hope you come back. You know, it was wonderful to meet you new friends, and it was nice to hang out with you, my old friends. You guys get some rest. Now, I'll probably be up for like another half hour just because I got a lot going on in my mind right now. But I'll get some rest. I feel better hanging out with you guys. Okay, hearts in the chat for Angel Kitty. Thank you, Angel Kitty. Thank you for our awesome moderator. Hearts in the chat for Angel Kitty, okay? And then hearts in the chat for yourselves, my friend. You guys relax. You relax and you have a good time, okay? I love you, friends. We'll see you mañana. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you Tuesday, okay? I love you, friends. I gotta go. And how do I turn this off? I've never done the phone streaming before. Thank you, Carissy. You guys mean a lot. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome, okay? Bye for now. Bye for now.